Well, good morning, y'all. It's a foggy Saturday morning, 20th of October here in Mobile. And this is my video response to the 3x3 challenge that I was called out on by Brent Surpluzz, goes by Surpluzz on YouTube. The 3x3 challenge, if you're not familiar with it, which I wasn't until I got called out on it, you're supposed to give your viewers 3 pieces of information about you that they would not otherwise know from watching your videos, and then afterwards you're supposed to call out or challenge 3 other YouTube motovloggers or YouTube channels, creators. So that said, let's see, what can I tell you? Well, let's start with what you do know about me from videos of mine if you've watched any. You know I have a Yamaha Eluder that I'm riding now. My first motorcycle was a Yamaha V-Star 1300 that I bought in 2013 brand new. If you've seen my videos, you know that I'm a veteran of the United States Air Force. You know that I build and fly RC model airplanes. I also dabble with model rockets, modeling, things, planes, plastic model airplanes, trains, anything of that nature. I'm into modeling. Yeah, so let's go off of what you do know, something that you might not know. All right, so you know I'm a veteran of the United States Air Force. What you don't know is I served on active duty for just shy of 9 years. I was a B-52 mechanic. We call him a crew chief in the Air Force initially. I did that for almost, 3.5 years, 4 winters up in Minot, North Dakota. Very, very cold. Then I transferred into the B-2 bombers when they were new. I was still a crew chief, but I worked in phase maintenance. It's a periodic inspection criteria that the aircraft go through. I did that for about 2.5 years in Missouri, and then I had cross-trained into a different career field. I was going to be a helicopter flight engineer. Started out on H-1s as a trainee in Langley, Virginia. And then I went to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and transferred into the H-60 Blackhawks out there while I was in the school. But that didn't work out because, as it turns out, I am easily susceptible to motion sickness. And so I was grounded from flying, and I went back to the B-2 bombers at Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri. And I was there for a couple more years. And then my career came to an end. And you might be wondering, well, if 9 years, that's almost halfway to a 20-year retirement. Why would you finish so soon? And I had no intention of ending my career at 9 years. I was diagnosed with major depressive disorder after an attempted suicide. I was 26. I was married. Things were not going real well. And my condition, my depression was actually making things worse for me. I mean, I wasn't really aware of that, but that's the way it works. So, after treatment, for treatment, I was sent to Keesler Air Force Base in Biloxi, Mississippi. And while there, they determined that, there's not really a cure for depression. There is treatment, and there's medication, and there is coping skills to be learned. And at that point, they decided that I was no longer fit to deploy, which means I couldn't really do my job in the Air Force. And then they also determined that I wasn't really able to be cross-trained into anything else either and still be able to be a warfighter, because that's what the military is. We fight wars. So I was medically discharged. I get VA treatment, you know, some. So that's how that all went down. So now you know. I was an Air Force veteran, did 9 years on active duty, didn't retire even though I wanted to, and here I am 20 years later. Okay, well, building off of that, so I mentioned in there that I was married. I've only been married once. I've been divorced once. And now out of that marriage, I now have 2 grown children, a daughter and a son. They live in Alaska. They've lived there for just over 20 years now. My daughter is now married herself, been married 5 years, and they have a little boy, my only grandchild, a grandson. And then my son, he lives in Alaska. All right, my daughter and her family live in Palmer, Alaska, and that's actually where the kids grew up, was in Palmer. My son lives in Anchorage proper at the moment, and he is still, he's unmarried. I won't say he's single because he is dating a young lady, and I hope that all works out well for him. But I have not seen my children in that 20 plus years now. But I'll tell you, my daughter took an intensive course in Missoula, Montana about 6-7 years ago, and she is an incredible portrait photographer up there in Alaska. She does natural light outdoor photography, and she is awesome at it. And I'll throw a link to her Facebook in the comments below so y'all can find her. And let's see, what else is there that you don't know? All right, so you do know that I'm here in Mobile, Alabama, and I've lived along the Gulf Coast now for 20 years since getting out of the service at Keesler. But I am a damn Yankee, and I say a damn Yankee, and I'll explain that. Do you know the difference between a Yankee and a damn Yankee? All right, in the United States, a Yankee hails from the northernmost states in our great nation, and I grew up in northeastern Indiana, just outside of Fort Wayne, a little town called New Haven. So I'm a suburbanite. If I went 5 minutes to the west, I was in Fort Wayne, Indiana. If I went 5 minutes to the east, I was out in farm country. So I get a little bit of both. So yeah, that's a Yankee. And a Yankee, if they come down to the south, you know, they come down, they go on vacation to the Gulf Coast, they come visit, and then they go back home. A damn Yankee comes to the Gulf Coast and never leaves. So I'm a damn Yankee. And as such, I'm also a Notre Dame Fighting Irish football fan, born and raised that way. And I live in Mobile, Alabama, where the #1 team in the nation, and especially in the state of Alabama, is the Alabama Crimson Tide football team. I won't say that I'm a hater. I'm not a hater, but I don't root for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Sorry. It is what it is. I get plenty of flack from everybody else for being an Irish fan, so it comes as it goes. All right, so now this is where I'm going to depart from the standard format of the 3x3 challenge. All right, you're supposed to shout out, throw out a challenge to 3 other moto vloggers and have them do the same as I just did. You know, I don't know that I necessarily know 3 other moto vloggers than the ones that I watch who either A, haven't already done this at some point, or B, you know, aren't really up for doing this kind of thing anyway. So with that being said, I'd rather just direct you to a few other YouTube channels that I like to watch on a regular basis and that I may or may not be subscribed to per se, but I do find them interesting and I watch them fairly regular. Now, one of them is a moto vlogger. Actually, they do a daily vlog. They are the Smokes vlog on YouTube. It's Sean and Kelly Smoak, S-M-O-A-K. And Sean is a master mechanic, master BMW and BRP Spider mechanic for a dealership, Pro Caliber Motorsports, up in Vancouver, Washington State, southwest corner of Washington State. They do a daily vlog, and even though, you know, I don't ride a BMW or a BRP Spider, it's just, you know, you can still learn something from other bikers and styles, and on top of that, they're just good people. You know, they're the kind of people that, you know, a lot like Brent Surpluzz, who challenged me in this, they're the kind of people, even though you've never met them face to face, you just instantly have this bond and a friendship of sorts with them. You know, you make the connection through YouTube in the comments, and, you know, occasionally you'll connect through Facebook. And the Smokes are those kind of people. They're just wonderful people. Sean goes back many years. I believe he was actually a racer, motocross racer at some point, you know, years ago when he was younger, before they started raising their family. So yeah, check them out, the Smokes vlog. And then Sean actually has a separate channel. What does he call it? Iron Hawk, maybe? I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. So definitely that one. And then another one I'll throw out there. This isn't moto vlogging at all. This one is called Smarter Every Day, hosted by a gentleman named Dustin, who's up in Huntsville, Alabama, and he is actually a rocket scientist. I like educational programming and things of that sort on YouTube. Now, I watch a lot of YouTube stuff, but anything that I find to be educational, I really like. And that is one of them that, you know, you won't be disappointed if you go to that one. Smarter Every Day. So check that one out. Anyway, that's the 3x3 challenge. That's my video response to it. You've learned some things about me. You know, if you enjoy the videos I'm putting out there, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more of them, subscribe. Share me with your friends if you think it's worthy of that. And I do appreciate it. I appreciate everybody that watches and the comments. I'm trying to get better at what I'm doing with this. It's a bit of a learning curve. I tried to upgrade some equipment, and as I was upgrading something else kind of failed on me, and so I've had to work around some things to get it all situated. Anyway, stick around. There will be more to come, I promise. Later, y'all.